Hey there, I'm Ileana Capellan. Welcome to IC Connections. I'm a TV news reporter and lifestyle host looking to continue making connections with people in everyday life. This is my way of continuing to tell meaningful stories that resonate. This is a space for real conversations about what connects us all as human beings. Every episode, I sit down with someone new to explore the universal experiences, emotions, stories that remind us that we're all more alike than we are different. So whether it's love, language, or culture, we're digging deep to see what makes us human. Let's get connected.
This is the best.
Simply the best.
Something like that.
Ileana Capellan. That's me, and I'm your host.
In 3, 2. Today, I'm joined by Carolina Márquez, a motivational speaker, mindset mentor, and super manifester dedicated to empowering others to rise, heal, and embrace their fullest potential. She is the CEO and founder of CAM, Caring Accountability Mentoring, a community and movement built to inspire women through connection, storytelling, and transformation experiences. With a background in leadership and personal growth, Carolina blends authenticity, resilience, and vision to guide others in manifesting the life they deserve. Our connection comes from a beautiful community called Roots and Wings, but I'll let you get back into that and kind of explain that. Carolina, welcome and thank you for being on IC Connections.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. So gracias.
Then nada, you were the perfect guest. I remember meeting you on the shoot for We Belong and just feeling like so connected to you. So I was like, okay, she's a perfect guest to talk about Hispanic Heritage Month.
Oh, no. Yeah. Thank you. So like you said, like us meeting, we had a TikToker that had posted about wanting to get influencers together and really speak up on the injustice that was going on with everything with ICE and the raids. And the raids had just started to slowly ramp up, but I think it was also the injustice of how they were calling us criminals for just being brown.
Yes, because it was right before the raids.
It was before because we filmed in January.
Yeah.
And then we started to get things together. And I want to say June 6th. I remember specifically because my husband's birthday is the 5th. June 6th was when the raids started to hit heavily, and they attacked LA because that's the reality. It was an attack.
Yes.
So, but I think it was even more important when I saw the video from TikTok. To me, what spoke to me was I saw all these other Latino influencers, huge numbers that benefit off of Latinos purchasing their drinks, their little packets, whatever they're selling, the makeup.
Yeah.
But no one was saying anything against to what was happening to the community because they were all staying quiet because of money, right?
Yeah.
And that infuriated me. And once I saw the video on TikTok, I was like, yeah, I totally want to join what he's doing. I'm like, let's do this. And so once we all got together, I think it was so beautiful to see so many different cultures, so many different perspectives, but the unity of the same messaging that we were all there to say, you can't do this to us.
And we're stronger in
And
numbers.
we're stronger, yeah.
I was even in that video, but I think like always said, my role here is to give a voice to the voiceless, to help people. And in that shoot, that whole experience, it was that feeling of unity, that feeling of being able to be so proud of where you came from, yet proud of like what you're doing. And it was a unity in that feeling of like, ni de aquí, ni de allá, like, trying to figure out who you are. For me personally, it's like, okay, my parents' story and both of them being immigrants and like coming here and building this beautiful life for me and for their family. And it's like, okay, well, I get to reap all these benefits. And they're here. Now they're here legally. They've done their whole entire process. But it's like, I want to make sure that they know like how proud I am of them. And it's things that were, I feel like I didn't know about it. I didn't appreciate it. I didn't learn about it in school. It's not until now that I'm like really appreciating and knowing like, oh my God, this is what they went through. This is how it happened. And I want them to know that I appreciate that.
And the group that we're part of is Roots and Wings. And so the reason why it's Roots and Wings, it's because our roots, right? Where we come from. We all come from a beautiful place. I'm Mexicana. And then the wings of like, we are the ones that are flying, right?
Yeah.
Maybe our parents couldn't do the things that we wanted to. And I always get super emotional when I talk about my mom and dad. Yeah. But, my grandparents were part of the Bracero program.
Okay.
So to see, I think to even just read again and understanding at an older age of what the term wetback really was and how heartbreaking to think that my abuelitos went through that. Like broke me as a cuarentona. I'm 40 years old. I was like, how?
Cuarentona.
I'm
I've
a
never
cuarentona.
heard of
Oh yeah,
that.
girl. I was like, I'm a cuarentona. I enjoy that one. And it was just one of those moments of like, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here because they took the risk.
And for those who don't know, explain to them what the term wetback means.
So what happened in, I want to say the 1950s was that anytime, there was, I want to say we were actually in war too as well. So they needed farmers, they needed agriculture. And so they needed Mexicanos, right? They needed immigrants to farm the land, immigrants to do the jobs that people didn't want to do, pretty much how things are today. Yep. And so what would happen is as they were cross the border to come into the United States from Mexico, they were getting sprayed with like chemicals. So hence the wording of wetback. And again, to think about how they were treated and like animals, like, like cattle, right? They were being scrubbed down with really harsh chemicals, but also like these brushes that they were using. And it was really dehumanizing. And to, my grandparents, like, I wish I have them today and I don't.
Yeah,
I miss them dearly. But they're the reason why I'm here. My parents are the reason why I'm here. And having the privilege to be a citizen, to be a Mexicana, I'm also a Mexican citizen. I will use my privilege. And I also have to be transparent. I also am a lighter skinned Mexican with hazel eyes. So you better believe that I will be speaking up and I will be saying things, because if I'm able to get away with things, to be a voice for the voiceless, then I will. And I think with using my platform, that was the biggest thing, because racism just kept coming out stronger and stronger and stronger. And for me, I'm like, nah, we're not going to play this game. Yeah. We're gonna fight fire with fire, and we're gonna combat with. And I hate to say this, but it's like, even though we say facts, it's like the facts aren't working with people.
It's human emotion. It's humanizing these issues, which is something that I've like said from the start, because everybody wants to politicize these things, right? And it's like, this isn't politics anymore.
No.
These are civil and, I mean, human rights.
Human rights that people think others don't deserve.
Right.
And I think that's the part that as a community, we have to come back together. And with Roots and Rings, it's figuring out how can we continue to give messages to the community, educate Latinos, educate, our gringos, right? Our allied gringos that want to be there for us, educate others that we're here in unity, and we're here and there's more of us than them. When we all realize that we have the same oppressor, we can do anything together. I mean, we've done it with the boycotts to Target. We did it with the boycotts for Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah. We did it with the boycott. We can boycott. That's what we've learned in all of this, is that when we come together, we are very powerful. It's just one of those things where when I see an injustice happening, especially to our community, I'm always going to be the person that's going to speak out and say something. I don't care about me. I will make sure the other person's okay. Yeah.
Were you always like that in your personal life too?
Yeah. As I was a kid, I was always, I mean, granted, I'm 5'7", so for a Latina, that's pretty tall.
Yeah, that's very tall, yes.
But being a kid, I was always taller than a lot of the kids growing up, right? I grew up in a Latino community. Yeah. And so what was interesting is that I remember this one core memory of we didn't have very many Black children in the school. And this one kid, pobrecito, was part of a foster family. And I didn't know that at the time. Yeah. He was getting picked on left and right by everybody. And girl, I remember being like second grade and telling everybody to shut up and to not pick on him, to leave because they were making fun of him because he wore the same clothes 3 days in a row. Oh. And it was just, already my heart knew that wasn't okay. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And I'm somebody who, as I get older, I'm definitely tapping into my emotions. Right? I feel like
I hear you say it a lot. Your soft girl era.
Oh, my soft girl era. Yeah. Ooh, I'm a chillona now. I cry for a commercial. If I am ovulating, I am crying on anything. I am just a mess, right? Yeah. But I think the nice part about it is that I embrace it. I allow it. I'm not the corporate girly that I was before. The boss babe, I'm sorry. I'm over that era. I don't want to be boss babe. Yeah. I will be a babe in any era.
She's like, I'm a hot babe. I'm a Latina babe. I'm everything.
All of it. But the hustle culture, nah.
It's so toxic.
I'm over it.
It's so toxic. The boss babe era that's something where I saw your video and I was like, ooh, I have to talk to Caro because she's speaking to my soul right now. And you're really big on manifestation and whatnot.
Yes.
So then the second thing, my second sign was you had reminded us in our Roots and Wings group, like, don't forget it's, what was it? Something, manifest tonight. Like, it's super powerful, blah, blah. And so I was like, okay, let me manifest. I did that, and the very next week, I was booked back to back to back.
Really?
To back to
Oh
back.
my God!
Yes,
That makes me
and
so
so I was like,
happy.
yes, I was waiting because I had a message typed out to you, and I was like, let me just wait until I tell her.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I have to tell her, like, it works. There's something
Yes.
to it, but also it was because your video talking about your forced retirement, and you
Yes.
kind of laugh about it, you joke about it now, but it spoke to me because for me, I got laid off in May, and this is my first time publicly speaking about it or telling
Thank you for
people.
sharing too. It's hard.
It is hard because
very hard.
it all gets tied into kind of our Latinidad and how we grew up. You know, I've had a job since I was 15, you know, like I've been working nonstop since I was 15. I don't know what it is to not work. I was a student athlete, a working student athlete. Then I was in college, student athlete, working, doing internships, doing the whole thing. Like there was never a day that I did not have a job. And so to go from, I actually went from working for, you know, like the city of LA for the Civil Rights Department. I took another job for career growth thinking like, this is good. I'm going to be able to, instead of living paycheck to paycheck, you know, like I'm going to be able to start investing and like saving and doing the thing. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out. It was a startup. And so I was with them for 2 months before they were like, yeah, unfortunately, budget cuts. And that point, I was not prepared. And so I remember calling my husband and just bawling. Like I didn't even know how to say it. I feel like the way that I cope, right? Like I just say it straight out. Like I called him and I was like, hey, I just got laid off. And he was like, what? And I was like, I just got laid off.
What's your sign?
I'm a Pisces.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So,
sorry, I love my zodiac.
Yes, let's get into it.
Because I'm a Pisces moon. So for me, I totally get where the communication, because you want to rip the Band-Aid off.
Ripping the Band-Aid off. And then as soon as I did, and he was like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, what are we going to do? We have a little one. Like, how are we? You know, and that's when it like hit me. And just trying to figure it out from there.
Yeah.
And it's been a struggle. It's like, okay, what am I doing? How do I knew that I didn't want to do like the hustle culture anymore. But at the same time, it's like, but I need to make money for my family.
To survive. Right? Because
survive.
we're all surviving.
Yeah.
Everybody struggles from something. So if there's anything anybody takes away from today, social media is fake.
She said it.
People lie on there. People are not going to show you their failures. And if they are, please follow them because they will be very genuine on how they got to where they got to. But you're right. It's just one of those things where it's like, I know from my experience is I felt shame.
Yeah, it's weird.
I felt shame. I felt so disappointed when I got my Zoom. Thank God it was a Zoom. Everybody was like, they should have done it. I was with my employer for 16 years, but I stopped drinking the Kool-Aid a long time ago. And everybody had told me like, oh my God, like they couldn't even do it in person. And I'm like, no, I'm so blessed. And I will have to say, I'm a huge manifester. The night before, my husband tells me, because I saw it coming, the writing was on the wall.
Okay.
I just didn't know when.
Yeah.
And so I had told my husband, he was like, you know, if you could manifest how you want it to be, what do you want? I said, you know what? I said, I just want them to tell me and then just leave me the F alone. I said, just tell me, leave me the F alone, and I want to move on. I just want to move on. I'm done. I'm done with this waiting game. Didn't take any trips this past year because I knew that something was coming, right?
The anticipation was almost worse.
Yeah. And so when I got the last minute Zoom, super early I was like,
same, before the morning meeting on a Friday. Yes.
I jump on the Zoom and I was ready. I had already texted my team and I told them, you guys, I was already preparing them mentally for a couple of weeks already.
Okay.
So I told them, I said, you guys, it's happening sooner than expected. It's going to happen now. I said, so I'll call you guys as soon as I'm done. I jump on the Zoom, go through the spiel. It's literally like they're reading a script, right? And I kept my composure, very graceful. I was like, they're not going to see me cry. You know? And I turned the laptop down and then I happened to hear, my dad was fixing the house next door, and I happened to hear my father. When I tell you that at any age we need our parents, and I'm very blessed that I still have mine. I almost lost them in the car accident. I am, every day that I have them, I'm always like, what can I do to make your life better? But when I heard my dad next door, it was almost like como una niña chiquita. Like if I hit my knee and I needed to run to my mom and dad to hug me, right? I run next door and I'm like, papi, and I'm like crying. I'm like, papi. And he's like, ¿qué pasó? ¿Dónde está el carro? And I'm like, what do you mean, ¿dónde está el carro? And he's like, ¿dónde está el carro? No, mi loca. And I'm like, Jonathan went to the doctors. I was like, papi, you know? And he's like, ¿por qué lloras? And I'm like, I just got laid off. And he just looks at me and he goes, it's okay. And I'm like, my boomer, right? I'm like, hi, papi, you know? And I go, papi, I need a hug.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay. So he hugs me and he's like, okay, yeah. You know? And then I tell him, I said, papi, I feel like a failure.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. And you were able to open up with that right away.
Oh yeah. I'm telling you, after losing Andres and having to embrace emotions and not be afraid of feelings. I'm a Capricorn. I'm a double Capricorn. We are horrible with feelings. Okay.
Yeah.
Horrible. But I really feel like my Pisces moon balances me out, where I now allow myself that grace, where before Carolina would have been like, you don't show nobody you're crying.
Yeah.
Right?
See, I need to figure out what my rising and all that is, because my Pisces moon is like, I feel all the things, but I will hide it. I'm like, everything is great.
Yes. You guys are so good at that, which is why my Pisces friends, I'm always checking in because I'm like, you're really good at being good.
Yeah.
But I need to make sure you're good.
You're good.
Right?
And that you're okay to know
you're
that you cannot be good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just hard because Pisces also hold the weight of the world. Yeah. Right? Yes. And then depending on like our birth order, and then like even just like the dynamics of our marriage and stuff, it's hard when you don't have the space. Yeah. Right? So when I told my dad that, he just it was my dad worked at his job for 40 years. Like the boomers still had a corporation that cared. Yeah. He worked at a plastic company. Okay. Where he started off at the bottom and then rose to the executive level. Wow. Right? And that was very unheard of for somebody, you know, being Mexican, no high school, no college, and being able to sit at a table with all the executive leaders. But he earned his way through the experience, right? Yeah. Through having years of literally learning the entire business, right?
From the bottom.
From the bottom, which is so important, right? Sometimes people at the top, they could be at the top, but they don't know how the entire thing works. And that's the most important part. Right. So him coming from that background, I for sure thought, it was almost like I was waiting for him to be like, pues ya vete buscar trabajo, and you know? And he just looked at me, he goes, Caro, it's okay. Tienes tu salud y tienes tu familia. And I'm like bawling even more. Right? I was like, happy.
You're like, don't say that to me.
No. And I just told him, I said, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. And he said, it's okay. You don't have to know right now. And I think the support from just anybody telling you not to rush back into it, allow yourself. I was a mess all of August. Yeah. I was a mess, but I have to share with you guys. August is my blessing month. Okay. So I got my contract with Chloe in August. Okay. Then TMI, didn't even know that I could get pregnant. I got pregnant last August, miscarried.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. And that was a whole other thing where I was like, oh my God, I have all these feelings I didn't even know I'm feeling, right? But at least I know that I could get pregnant. Right? Because you have to find the beauty in every situation. Yes. I had J-Lo on my Instagram in 2020. In August. Oh my God. Met my husband 8/8 in August of 2021. Stop. Andres and I actually, it's the crazier part is that I looked back at photos, and Andres and I had decided to get married in August of, like, we had already said, okay, we're going to get married. We'll figure this out. But we made the decision in August of 2013. We got married 2014.
Oh my goodness.
August has always, I got hired with USC 16 years ago, August 10th of 2009.
Oh my God.
So when I tell you August is a very significant month, I've always told my husband. So when he asked me, how do you want it? I was like, if I make it through August and I know I survived, I go, but if it happens in August, it's for a reason. Okay. It's because bigger and better is coming. I go, I know it. I can feel it. Yeah. I can feel it. And so he was like, okay, yeah, you know, but even just having that you were able to call your husband.
Well, and then my mom was my next call.
And right? But even the support, right? But just the support of like, It's okay.
Yeah. And that's exactly, we'll figure it out. It's okay.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Like, I think the part that when I allowed myself to be a mess in August and I felt everything and I was going through the emotions and I was crying like a chiona, it was sitting there and being like, I feel so lucky and blessed and very grateful for my husband for not being the man to tell me, okay, get your resume ready, go find a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Allowing me the space, right? Which is why I'm in my soft era. I was like, corporate girlie's gone.
Totally.
It's called entrepreneur era, you know?
Yeah.
And it's he allowed me that space to be a mess.
And that's great. That speaks
a gift.
so much wonders of your husband. Like, speaks so much to who he is as a person, how he was raised, everything.
Yeah. No, it was really, I was very alpha before when I was in my dating in LA and Miami. It was so horrible. And I always told myself.
You have to be in LA.
Oh my God. It was, I felt like I was more alpha than the men. I was like, how could I outwork you?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you need to outwork me. That was the other thing. My husband, I manifested my husband. I wrote a list
Of everything
I wanted. And 2 years later, we met, literally checks everything off the list. All my girlfriends make fun of me because they're like, oh, you forgot to put Latino. And I was like, dang, I did.
Oh my
I'm like, 'cause
God.
he's gringo, right?
Yeah,
He's Italian.
yeah.
So they're like, dang, girl.
Hey, but you get good food.
But all for a reason, right?
Yeah.
All for a reason. Again, I feel like my type wasn't my type.
Yeah. What you had
was
been thinking.
what I needed to learn.
Yes.
And dating teaches you about you. It's not the other person. It's you.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Because with every date, with every person, you find things that you like or things that you don't like. Things that, like and it's what you. It's introspective. So it's like, oh, this is me. This is parts of me that are coming. Yeah.
Yes.
That's totally it.
So doing all of that, but having those emotions of shame, of discomfort, working since I was 17 and being like waking up late that, I share my journey on TikTok and on social media because I wanted to be really transparent. I think if there's anything that I could just do for everybody in this world is that I want to be as transparent that no one's life is perfect. And even somebody like me who had a career at a really great university for 16 years, that can go away in the blink of an eye. Lost my husband, blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Life happens. How do you pivot? Because time is going to keep going. Time waits for nobody. And you really have to have the mindset of, okay, I'm going to allow myself to feel.
Yeah.
Because I think that was the one thing I learned in my grieving process is that I was very good at numbing. Mm-hmm. And my numbing was working out. So at least it was a healthy numbing.
But I look good.
At least it was a healthy numbing.
Yeah.
But COVID is what taught me that there were a lot of emotions that I had not dealt with. Yeah. And having to live alone and be in a space and be with my feelings and realize, wow, there's a lot of hurt and grief that I haven't processed yet that I thought I did. Mm-hmm. Girl, I had like hours of just crying, but like that hard cry, right? Where you're like
shaking, tired,
totally, and you just
red.
knock out from crying so much, like a kid.
Yes, truly.
Right?
It's so interesting because I feel like hearing your story, like I know that I'm going through my process, I would say. Like there's definitely days where I'm feeling it a lot more than other days.
Normal.
Yeah.
Very normal.
And there's a lot of grief. There's a lot of everything that just is like over the past, I'd say like 3 to 4 years has built up. Yeah. And now in this time where I'm like feeling it and I'm like, oh, I probably should have taken some time retrospectively and like really gone through this, felt this in that moment. You mentioned about the vulnerability, being real, being transparent on social media. And for you, your story has a lot of loops, a lot of like different turns. Yeah. You touched on the car accident and Andres. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Yeah.
So actually October is a 9-year anniversary. So the 24th of October is his 9-year anniversary. And I still can't even believe it's been 9 years. And mind you, like I have gotten married again. I wasn't even looking for that. That happened unexpectedly. I just thought that, after losing Andres, that was it, right? Embracing the pain and all of that. And we were actually on our way to DC. We had gone to a trip. When I tell you that trip was all for a reason, we got there. Who checks into their hotel at 8 a.m. with the room ready?
Wow.
So we left red-eye Friday night, landed in D.C. Saturday morning. The room was ready, and they allowed us to check in at 8 a.m. No hotel does that. So
Thank
that
God.
already, when I think about the details, I'm like, it was all for lining
Yeah.
up. You know, it was all happening for a reason. And we went around, we saw the monuments. We had gone to a restaurant that one of my friends on Facebook had said, oh, you have to try this rooftop. It's in DC, has a great view of the, the White House. And I was like, oh my God, okay, cool. We go, we're like, and I'm like, this is 2016, right?
Yeah.
So we go.
So pre-COVID.
So pre-COVID, pre-everything, pre-digital, everything.
Yeah.
Right? We go, and the girls tells me, she's like, oh, you have reservation. And we're like, oh, we just thought we'd walk in. No, apparently this was a place that you'd get 3 months in advance.
Oh, okay.
We get there. We're like, oh my God, we're so sorry. We thought we could just walk in.
Yeah.
We'll go find somewhere else to eat. And then she tells me, oh, I just had a cancellation. Do you want it? Right then and there. Okay. We go. We have an amazing view. We eat lunch, all of that. And we just have like a really good time. And the interesting thing is that we're boarding the flight Sunday night to come home. And the flight was being delayed because of fuel.
Okay.
And technically, they had offered us, and they said, does anybody want to deboard? We'll do the hotel, all of that. But, you won't be on a flight till the next day.
Yeah.
And, Capricorn me was like, oh, my God, work, right? I cannot miss work. Oh, my God.
When you're under boss baby.
So opposite now. And I look at Andres and I go, do you want to stay? What do you want to do? And Andres just looks at me. He goes, no. He goes, I want to go home. I want to sleep in my bed. And I go, okay. So we stay. When I tell you that Andres was way ahead of me when it came to being intuitive and manifesting and just being awake, right?
Yeah.
Very spiritual. And we both grew up Catholic, so we have that background. But when we were driving home, so then everything gets delayed. Our flight was supposed to land at 11:30. We didn't land till like 11:15. Okay. My Mexican Ubers are my parents,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So they're like, okay, vamos por ustedes. And I'm like, papi, it's going to be a little later. My dad's like, yeah, I got a café. We're good,
Yeah.
Because God forbid we spend money on Uber.
Yeah.
No. Yo los got. And I'm like, okay,
yeah.
fine, Dad.
Yep.
They pick us up. Andres and I had a carry-on. When I tell you, I got into the car, and the Carolina before is the opposite of who you see today. The Carolina before was judgmental, envious, so insecure, not happy with herself, just not in a good place, right?
Yeah.
Very immature. So I would very much get into the car and I would never move over. I would just like sit in, right? So super
like, this is my
unaware,
spot.
right?
Yeah.
Super unaware. And this one time, I remember, and I go, oh, so I originally sit behind my dad.
Yeah.
And my dad's the driver. And so my mom is sitting there. And Andres goes around and he goes, you need to move. And I was like, Andres, I'm fine. I'm here. Just, And he goes, no, you're not supposed to sit there. And I go, okay. And we had such a great trip that I was like, he's serious. I don't want to end this on a bad note because estamos peleando, So I was like, you know what? Okay, fine. I'm just going to, I was like, I'm just going to move over. So I move over. Everything calms down. We're driving, and Andres could sleep anywhere. Okay. And we're driving, and he goes, he's like, honey, make sure you talk to your dad. And I go, yeah. I said, I'll talk to my dad. Tú duérmete, We're like 20 minutes away from home. I said, go to bed. I'll wake you up when we get home. We're on the 605 freeway. And literally 2 exits away. And what happens is what they usually say. What happens is that we start to relax.
Yeah.
Because we're getting closer to home. Right. So you're like, oh, I'm almost home. I don't have to be on guard. And my poor dad. So what ended up happening is on the drive home, we saw this erratic driver. And there were already probably 8 phone calls to Highway Patrol about this very erratic driver.
Okay.
And so by the time we're almost home, I'm talking to my mom and dad, and we get hit at 121 miles per hour. Mind you, Andres and I were not even wearing our seatbelts.
Oh, no.
Because we just jumped in the car with our carry-on, right?
You're like, let's go.
Yeah, we were just like, let's go. We were in a Prius, and the Prius doesn't have very much gas, but the way the car hit us was like at a perfect angle to get the battery and the gas. So it was like a bomb that went off.
Oh, no.
So we get hit, the car is spinning, but we're also on fire. So we're immediately on fire. Andres is passed out. But later I find out that he passed away from immediate impact.
Okay.
His neck snapped. So he passed away like quick, which was what I had wanted.
Yeah, that's comforting.
Because that was, it was very
Mm-hmm.
comforting, because that was the one thing that I had always, as a wife, I was like, how could I have not like done better, right?
There's nothing.
And so we get hit. Andres passes away from the impact, but now it's a ripple effect. So now the fire's coming. So I'm awake.
Oh my
And
gosh.
usually what happens in accidents is that you pass out from the gas or from the hit.
Okay.
So they did an MRI and they saw that I hit my head. And they were like, you have a concussion. How did you stay awake? Because technically you shouldn't have.
Right.
So I happened to stay awake. I'm sitting in the car and I just remember, really wild, which is also not, because it's also my bad trait too. But
Yeah.
I remember sitting there burning alive for at least 15 seconds or 10 seconds. Like I just feel heat from everywhere.
So you were like legit.
We were just on fire, all of us.
Oh my God.
So I hear a voice, and the voice says, Caro, get out of the car. And I'm just like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
And then I hear the voice again, louder. And it says, Caro, get out of the effing car. And fight or flight mode kicks in. And I start to bang the door. And I break the door down.
Oh my God.
I get out. I fall on the floor. I get out. And I look up, and I can see my mom burning. And I race back to the car. I pull her out. After I pull her out, I run back to my dad. And by then, civilians started to help us. And a firefighter, I think I want to say a retired firefighter, helped me pull my dad back out. I run back to go get Andres. The car is fully engulfed. And I'm trying to break the back window to pull him.
Yeah.
And there's a guy that comes to me and he says, who else is in the car? And I'm like, well, my husband. He sees the car is done, right? Well, it was the guy that hit us.
No.
And he happened to be a drunk driver.
Oh.
So he hits us.
My goodness.
And he sees that I'm still trying to break the window. And I'm like using this like one tool that I found. And I'm just like burning my hand, just trying to like reach, and I couldn't. And the firefighters get there immediately. And they put this like the bomb, and it just diffuses everything quickly. And then that's when the firefighter grabs me and he's like hugging me tight. And he's like, Carolina, he's like, where's your husband? And I said, he's in the car. And in my head, I'm like, why are you guys with me? Go get him, right?
Right.
Because it's not connecting. And he hugs me, and I'm always grateful for this man. I don't know who he is. Maybe one day I can speak to him again.
Yeah.
But
Let's find this man.
I know, he was so kind. Hugs me tighter, and then he tells me, your husband's passed away. I let out a scream, like a horror movie scream, so hard that I keep trying to push him away, but he knew that was coming.
Yeah.
And so I keep
That's why he
trying to
was
push him
hugging you.
away. I keep trying to push him away. And he's letting me get all of the energy out. And then finally, one of the other firefighters said, we've covered the car. Let her go. I take off running like a loquita up and down the freeway, right? And I start screaming, no, not my baby, not my baby. Everybody thought it was a child. And they were crying, and they were just on the side of the road, and everybody was just like, oh my God. Well, all of this is happening. The media is recording everything.
Oh my gosh.
So my employer found out that I was in an accident because I didn't show up to work. My entire emergency contact was in the car.
Oh my
right?
God.
So they are like, Carolina never misses a day. And she never misses a day without, we call Andres, we call her parents, we call,
and
no
everybody
one's answering,
yeah.
right? And then they see the 9 o'clock news that night, on Monday night. And they see on the bottom, it says fatal accident. And they only see myself and my parents. And everybody saw the Facebook post that I had done that night before taking off, where we were at the Capitol.
Yeah.
And we were taking pictures at the, where Congress meets. And I just remember like geeking out and being like, oh my God, we're here, you know?
Yeah.
And Andres was like, oh, you know, are you going to go to law school? And I was like, oh, maybe. That was always the plan, right?
Wow, okay.
I was like, oh, maybe. But I was in the middle of getting my master's at USC. I was getting my master's in executive leadership. And so I was like, yeah, maybe after, right? And so all of that happens. And they tell me I'm running up and down the freeway. And then I get to my parents, and my parents are just like in shock.
Yeah.
They can't even say their names. I'm giving their age. And then I tell the officer, he's like, who can we call? I was like, you need to go to this house and you need to call this number. I was like, and you need to get my sister Lisette. I was like, that's who you need to get for us. So they were already assessing everything. It's a crime scene. The 605 is completely shut down now. And then
Is the driver still there?
No, he took off on foot.
So he asked you, and then
this man was not a good man, unfortunately, and he knew how to stay off the grid. They didn't find him until 8 months later. And then the following 6 months after that was when I got to talk to him in court and pretty much tell him like I feel sorry for you.
So you got to do like a victim testimony?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And so when he asked you who was still in the car, you didn't know that he was the driver that hit you?
No, but I get to, so then they take us in the ambulance and me being the Capricorn, we're in the ambulance. I'm sitting down. They were going to separate us because we had to go to different hospitals. And then I hear one of the captains say, like, this family's been through it. We need them to go together. We can't have them in separate hospitals. We can't have their family. So we went to UCI burn unit.
Okay.
So they took us there. We're in the ambulance. And I remember thinking, and this is odd, but this is just me being like, damn, this is such a Capricorn. I'm assessing the ambulance. Like I'm so like analytical, right?
Yeah.
I'm assessing my injuries, my father's injuries, my mom's injuries. My mom had the worst burns.
Okay.
My father had internal injuries. And I thought I was okay, but I had burnt the side of my pants.
So your shock was just carrying you.
I melted. So I had melted onto the side of the pants. They were just so dark.
Yeah.
And we get to the hospital. They sedate me to, induce me in a coma to let my body heal. My parents are in a coma for a couple weeks because they're older. I have the doctor come tell me that if my parents would have been 5 to 10 pounds heavier, they probably wouldn't have sustained the injuries.
Wow.
And then I had my siblings freaking out, right? Yeah. And I just remember waking up and having my tia on the side of me praying the rosary. And I always get emotional. I look at her and I go, he's gone, huh? And she's like, he's gone. And I go, okay, I have to plan a funeral. And she just looks at me like,
I mean, you just woke
How
up.
about you heal, right? How about you heal?
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, I gotta go. When I tell you the crazy part is that being in the induced coma, I dreamt of Andres.
Oh, wow.
And when I dreamt of him, I told him, you're gone, huh? And he just looked at me and it was all white. And he was in his nice little red outfit that he had on. And I go, you're gone. And he goes, yeah. He's like, but you're going to be fine. And I looked at him. I go, how am I going to be fine? I said, how do I breathe? How do I do this? You know? And he goes, don't worry. You're going to be fine. And he just smiled and he was just laughing. Like his energy was so, securing. Yeah. Like it was so warm. It was so, can't even think of the word. Just comforting. Yeah. Yeah. I just felt peace. Mm-hmm. And every time I dreamt of him after, I never till this day have had a dream thinking he's alive. So it's always been, I know he's gone. And it's always a message. It's always slow down. You're fine. It's okay. Be careful,
He's like your guardian angel.
Totally. And, I'm a firm believer of like my angels, my grandparents that always watch over me, my aunt who takes care of me. I tap into that a lot because I wouldn't have the life and be where I'm at today doing a podcast with you if it wasn't for my angels and God and the universe having my back, right? So we're in the hospital. My parents are healing. It's time to plan a funeral. I have the doctor come in a couple nights later. I was in the hospital for a week and I couldn't walk because of the hit from the impact. And I had burns. The part that the doctor couldn't understand was that he was like, 1, you had a 3% chance of surviving.
And here you are.
He's like, yeah. So that's another reason why I always like to give back is because for me, I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here. So if I'm here, I'm going to do something, right? I'm going to do something. And so he's like, okay, your MRI shows that you hit your head. You had a concussion. How did you stay awake? And I told him, I said, I don't know. I can't tell you how I did that. And he's like, and you literally, like my clothes were burnt, my hair got burnt. I had to cut my hair super short. He's like, you have no burn. Like this burn should be all over my body. And he was like, you don't have it on your face. You don't have it on your back. He was like, your whole
Caro.
body should be, because I was burning from head to toe. So he's like, I can't explain that. He's like, so somebody's taking care of you, is what he told me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay. And then I have the CHP officer the same night come to me and tell me, I've been on the job for 25 years. I just had to tell a family that their family in a new expedition, 6 of them passed away with less speed from somebody being hit. He goes, how did you stay awake? And I told him, I said, I don't know. I just did. And he goes, normally people pass away from the hit or the gases, right?
And you had both.
And I had both. And so having the doctor tell me that and the CHP, it was all in the same day. And I just remember sitting there being like, okay, this is all really heavy. I was like, and then I have to learn how to walk. So I wasn't eating, right?
Yeah.
And my doctor literally came in. He totally knew how to talk to me. He literally said, either you eat on your own, or I'm gonna shove a tube so that you get nutrients in you. And I just remember grabbing the plate and being like,
yeah.
no me dices nada, you know?
Yeah.
And then before getting out of the hospital, I had to learn how to walk. So it was having to use my muscles again, wake them up, because being bedridden for a week, it was only a week.
Wow.
Takes a toll on your body. That's why your health and being healthy, everybody, is so important. Your health is truly your wealth in life.
Yeah.
And so that happened with Andres. It was having to plan a funeral while my parents were still healing. So my parents couldn't go to the funeral.
Right.
And then it was just really hugging the pain and figuring out, how do I do this? And then 7 months later, I graduated with my master's with a 4.0 from USC, because that was the reason my reason for going to USC for my master's was to give us a better life, right?
So
Education was the way.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't stop.
No.
And so graduating without him was something that I think it's still like a blur. I did it because I knew I needed to enjoy it, because in my head I said, I don't know when I'm going to graduate again.
Yeah.
I have to be present as much as this hurts to do this, right? And then it was just little by little. Then I think I want to say 2 years later, the Khloe Kardashian contract comes up, and pretty much the
revenge
body. And pretty much the producer's like, why should we give you the contract? And I'm like, because either you're going to film it or not, but I'm still going to get it done.
Period.
And I was already on a wellness journey because it became my therapy.
Yeah. Right. You had mentioned that.
Yeah.
So what would you say, this is my last question, we'll wrap it up, is your legacy? What would you want to be known for?
What would I want to be known for? I would want to be known for as somebody who, when people look at me or they look at my social media, they don't compare themselves. They say, I'm grateful that Carolina was always so honest about the good, the bad, the ugly, because no one's life is perfect.
Yeah.
Mine is definitely not perfect. It's just finding the beauty in it every day. And I think if it's just a feeling that I could have people feel about Carolina, is that I want people who speak to me, hang out with me, are around my energy, I want them to feel better leaving me. Yeah. And I want them, if there's anything, if I can have them leave hanging out with me feeling inspired, feeling that they can manifest whatever they want in life, that they can conquer the world, where they can just become a bigger and better them, but it's because they've accepted who they are and they love who they are.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And y'all, I'm telling you, if you don't already, you need to follow Carolina on social media, because she will make you feel just that. I told you, watching your videos made me feel seen. And I was like, all right, this is my girl. I need to talk to her. I need to tell her all the things and all the strength that you were giving me. Yeah. So thank you for that. But where can people follow you?
Oh, so social media, right? So Instagram, Carilola4. And then my women's group, it's Cam's Women's Group in IG. And then on TikTok, it's Carilola44. Because someone else took a 4. I was like, okay, well, I guess it's 44.
Those are angel numbers, though.
And those are angel numbers. And YouTube, same thing, just with my name.
Spotify, the podcast.
Spotify, yeah. I know, right? Spotify, YouTube. Again, doing things like this. I really appreciate you making the time for it, because like you said, it's really important, not only for us to share our heritage, our culture, our roots, but nobody's alone. You're not alone in any journey in life. You just have to find the right people.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Caro. I really appreciate
No, yeah,
you being
thank you guys for
on.
having me. I really appreciate
Yes,
it.
of course. To everyone listening, I see you, I hear you, I feel you. Thank you for being a part of this space, and remember to be somebody who makes everybody feel like somebody. Thanks for listening to I See Connections. If this episode moved you, inspired you, or made you feel a little more human, share it with someone else and connect with me on socials at Ileana Capellan. Until next time, let's keep connecting. This episode was recorded in the lovely Buzz Studios. Thanks for making this possible, and check out all of their YouTube videos.